ANC members who've been implicated in serious crime, including corruption, should find out soon what will become of them in the party. Friday was the end of the ANC's own 30-day deadline for such members, including Secretary-General Ace Magashule, to step aside or be suspended. The party's National Working Committee will now go through the list submitted by provinces, while the National Executive Committee is expected to come face-to-face with Magashule at a meeting in the coming days. At the same time, several ANC provinces have asked the NEC for more time to discuss their decisions at branch level. ANC NEC member Mondli Gungubele is joining us tonight to talk more about the views you've put down in an opinion piece published by the Daily Maverick. So thankful for your time, and you've brought it all down to two theories, the half full versus half empty, where you're saying the one is a group of ANC members who are seeing the positives of this moment as far as organizational renewal, and those who believe the step-aside rule is being used for a purge, essentially. Break that down for us.
This is an attempt, Thembikile, to expose a tendency which seeks to undermine a noble intention by leaders of the movement and those who want to make sure that the ANC continues to be an agent of change, a reference for hope, by ensuring that it ensures that it wins its historic influence, which it's earned for years by being honest and having integrity, credibility, trustworthy. Those who are pushing that direction are those I refer to as half-fullers, the half-full glass. But the half-empty ones are those suddenly who view this initiative as an attempt to decimate them, to destroy them, instead of holding hands with the entire movement in implementing its resolution. Doing so, they are creating a confusion around a noble cause, and I believe they should be seen for what they are and always be condemned, because they are delaying transformation in this country. They are diverting the organization from focusing on economic recovery plan, ensuring that our people have access to information, access to water, possibly through ensuring that we protect the resources of this country and direct them to the purpose of ensuring that socio-economic transformation is on course.
But the problem that the ANC faces, Mr. Gungubele, is that it is so divided that the extreme positions taken on the resolution were, quite frankly, inevitable given the many other movements going on in the party as far as factionalism.
I think the word so divided is an exaggeration, Thembikile. Let me tell you this. These resolutions of the conference were taken unanimously by the conference of the branches, which comprise of which constitute 90% of the branch delegates. And you can even look since the ANC took this decision from August last year, and finally taking a decision now and giving a deadline last month. If you look at this thing called divided, more than 80 or 90% of the provinces have actually supported this initiative. Even the so-called Free State, if you look at it carefully, increasingly comrades are coming out to support this. So strongly divided, I want to argue, is an exaggeration.
But there are those who say then that given, firstly, the issue that had happened where there was an NEC meeting where many expected there'd be an immediate suspension of members who are accused of corruption and other serious crimes, and then the announcement of a 30-day deadline for them to either step down of their own accord or for the provinces to put forward the names, which is now going to be ratified by the NWC and the NEC itself. Some are saying the ANC keeps kicking the can further down the road because at the heart of it, the party doesn't have the guts or the proverbial balls, if you will, to actually do this, especially when it comes to some of the most senior members, including the SG.
We took this decision, I think, on the 30th of April. Am I right? No. On the 29th of that particular month. Now is the 30 days. We are around the 30 days. This is the first weekend. I think before that conclusion is made, Thembikile, just allow these few days at the end of the 30 days and see what's going to happen. I have no doubt this movement is not going to disappoint. There's a huge anger in the ANC against corruption. As I've said to you, this phenomenon diverts all the energies of the organization from doing what it's supposed to do for the people. There's a lot of unhappiness in the ANC about corruption. There are normal leaders who still retain their sanity, know the dangers of not implementing this resolution. I'm saying we've just got the 30 days, just watch the space.
Your comrade Supan Rahumapelo, speaking this week, said that people should not be suspended. In fact, they should all step down of their own accord only if they feel that they've legitimately done anything wrong. He's even gone as far as to tell some media that the step-aside resolution would not be able to stand the test if it was tested in court. So, as things stand, do you think you will ultimately, as the ANC, end up in a situation where you're having to go to court, being taken to court by members who simply refuse to step aside?
I wish Supra Thembikile would have come to me for a paralegal advice. Let me tell you why. If you read the Apex, the decision of the Apex Court, which was adjudicated by Judge Museneke, paragraph 7.9, it is so clear, where it says, when you join the organization, its terms, its constitution, its duly adopted decisions constitute the terms of your contract with that organization. If indeed you find yourself faced with the consequences of that relationship, it is a legally protected development in South Africa under Section 9 of our Constitution on the freedom of association, that when you join freely, you form rules freely, you subject yourself to the consequences of the execution of those rules on the basis of which your contractual relationship with the organization, which you have freely joined, exists. If Supra would have come to me, we were together in Parliament, I would have given him a legal advice.
I'm sure you guys will have that chat in the coming days, but in this piece that you've written for the Daily Maverick, you say that by enforcing the step-aside rule, the ANC would eventually shape the overall South African attitudes and behaviour with regards to what's considered wrongs, rights and societal imperatives. Some would then argue that the ANC has long lost its position as a moral and ethical leader, that yes, you win elections, but not because people look to the party to do the right thing when it comes to morals and ethical conduct, as far back as the debates on Gandla and the previous other scandals where your members, even in Parliament, have been found wanting as far as doing the right thing at the first opportunity.
Thembikile, the trust in the ANC has been earned for over more than 100 years through a lot of sacrifices. There's a lot of things that we have done, some of us have done which are wrong, but the ANC stays bigger than those individuals. I would refuse to accept that 57% is voting just, is not looking up to the leadership of that organization. I think it would be a misplaced view to think that 57% vote not because they are not looking up to that organization. I think we need to re-examine that.
Will the coming week then be the greatest test to that confidence based on what the party does going forward on step-aside resolution?
It has to, Thembikile. I mean, an organization like the ANC, which has led this country for so many times, which reminds South Africans fondly of the greatest leaders who are respected by the world, if it can fail this test, the consequences will be dire.
All right. ANC NEC member Mondli Gungubele is speaking to us about that step-aside resolution in the party, where the party is now going through the list submitted by provinces of members who are indeed expected to either step aside or be suspended. Will it happen? We all wait to see. Still to come.